Yep.
Have James and Eric officially been cleared?
Yep, they were good.
Okay.
Yep, thank you. Yep.
All right, ain't got no questions. Anybody asking me nothing?
Hello.
Anthony, you got a question?
Yeah. What is it like when you're toggling between basically small ball center and when you have a center on the floor? What's the difference for you?
I mean, without trying to be sarcastic or anything, but the obvious difference is that, I'm a lot smaller than all those other fives. So that's really just my main focus. Sometimes, like, when we played the Utah Jazz and I'm guarding Rudy Gobert, I mean, my main priority is just to keep him off the glass. And that's me doing my job, as simple as that sounds. But yeah, more in-depth answer, just trying to find the advantages we have, find where I can get some easy buckets or some easy, I don't know, man. It's different for everybody, Some bigs are more mobile and can do more things than other bigs. I mean, a guy like Vucevic, he's stretching the floor and shooting threes. So it's just different. But my main priority is just keeping those guys off the glass and being physical with those guys. Because when we go small ball, obviously it's a disadvantage for us because, guys got 7-footers out there who are strong and are rebounding the ball very well. So just trying to do my job, man. Juan is just trying to do Juan's job in that setting.
What is, James is probably going to be back tonight, and I assume he'll probably be back in that second unit, which you've been a part of. What do you want to find with that group moving forward?
I think the first thing we need to do is find the identity. We need to figure out who we are going to be, because we're not going to be Steph Curry and Draymond Green. There's only one Steph Curry and Draymond Green, so we just got to figure out who we are as individuals, who we are collectively, and then go from there. And I think it's just one step at a time. Steve always talks about getting on base, hitting singles, and instead of trying to hit home runs. So it's a process, man. Process and finding chemistry, figuring guys out, and so forth. But finding an identity.
You guys talk about, getting reps with that second unit and getting time with each other, and that sort of being the key. But what's it like? What are you guys focusing on during film study as that group?
The second unit?
Yeah.
Well, from what I've noticed we become kind of stagnant sometimes. But that's a result of our defense. We got to get stops. We got to string together good stops. And obviously everybody knows that people consider me a defender. I take pride in my defense. So I'm always just trying to say, hey, we can get easy shots if, we get stops. And so that's my kind of train of thought is just the first thing starts with defense and the offense will take care of itself. So when we watch film, I mean, we're critical, but it's not like super critical where we're pointing the finger at anybody. And once I went from the first unit to the second unit, it was very relieving to see that nobody in that group is being critical of anybody else. Everybody is assuming that responsibility and that accountability collectively. And so that's the first step, is understanding and being aware of what the problem is or, what the problem could be. And so, there's no one answer and there's no right answer to, the second unit up and downs, but we're figuring it out, man. Unfortunately, with the COVID protocol and some injuries and things like that, the second unit has been molded differently numerous times. So we're figuring it out, man. We got a new team, got a young team, and we're not going to use that excuse all the time, but it's the truth. Like, we've had injuries, we've had COVID protocol, and things have changed over and over. So just trying to gain some traction and some stability.
Going back to what you were telling Wes about, just gaining traction and getting more time on the court with COVID protocols and all those and injuries getting in the way. Do you think that that's a reason why it's been hard for you guys to get consistency? Because the other day, Andrew Wiggins was talking about how part of it's effort. And I just wanted to know if you thought that effort had something to do with it, or it's more of your lineups just seem to be, you haven't been able to find a consistent lineup because of all the different things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with Andrew. And I think sometimes when we're out there, we can get lost in the mix, and sometimes it looks like a lack of effort. And so that could be the case. But like I said, I was in the first unit with Andrew, and then when I got into the second unit, you see things differently as a player when you're on the floor than a spectator. So I don't know if it's effort. I don't know if it's just a lack of chemistry. I don't know what it is. But, like, I just think to myself, if I was 19 years old in the NBA, like, this kid James is way further ahead than I was when I was 19 years old, mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's an emotional roller coaster to be playing, then have COVID protocol, and trying to learn, all these different screen executions, learn plays and stuff. And so with basketball, you got to have rhythm. You got to be on a string. Everybody's got to be moving and have the same pace to execute plays and stuff like that. I mean, it's the NBA. It's the best league in the world. You have basketball masterminds on the floor on every team. So, you just got to be really intentional about what you're trying to do. And so let me stop and say I'm not blaming it on James. I'm not disagreeing with Andrew. I just don't have the answer is what I'm saying. And I think everybody has a point in, what they're trying to say or what point they're trying to make. Everybody has a different perspective. And so I'm understanding of that. And I think it's a contribution of numerous things.